Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to ClanGen, the Warrior Cats clan generator game. When we left off in the previous episode, Smoke Thunder, our newest warrior, was actually trying to get her mate's attention. So she was trying to go ahead and play around the sick Childstripe, who yes, is still sick right now. And she was trying to pursue Childstripe because I think Smoke Thunder, she, yes, has had a lot of clashes with Childstripe as a kid, and there was a period of time before she became an apprentice where she wanted to help Childstripe out in the medicine cat den, but I think once she became an adult and a warrior, she was kind of glad that she wasn't assigned as Childstripe's apprentice, because then Childstripe would have known like all her embarrassing stories. And she keeps having this kind of like nagging feeling when she's around Childstripe that she wants to, nag Childstripe. But at the same time, she doesn't want Childstripe to dislike her. So yeah, she has been a bit hesitant to bother Childstripe while the mediator, because she is now the mediator, while the mediator is sick. But she's trying to like hang around in her vicinity, right? So there is that. But then we also kind of saw Childstripe maybe be not so receptive to this young cat who is trying to get her attention and is trying to court her. So I suppose we'll have to see how their relationship pans out. But I actually wanted to show you guys something very interesting, which I have not yet seen in the game, or I didn't until this point. So if we go to Smoke Thunder and we take a look at her relationships, and we kind of see how she feels about Childstripe, she's got some romantic like over there, and apparently, I mean, this is not a surprise. The little bit of dislike is not a surprise because they butted heads a lot when Smoke Thunder was a kid. But there is that little bit of comfort and trust. But the point that I'm trying to look at is, there is romantic like here, right? On Smoke Thunder's side. She's curious about Childstripe, and that's why she's pursuing Childstripe. And then I want to take a look at Childstripe's relationship panel. She hates Smoke Thunder. Guys, do you see this? She hates. I have not seen the dislike bar so high that it transforms into hate. And the first instance we have of it is with Childstripe and Smoke Thunder. So we're gonna have to see how this particular relationship goes. And I'm especially fascinated by this because when we were pairing them up, their compatibility had like squiggly lines. So that means they're compatible, right? Yeah. Childstripe is not really feeling Smoke Thunder. So we're gonna have to see how that pans out. I may at some point break them up, but for now I kind of want to see whether they would break up on their own. But we'll have to kind of wait a little bit on that. But okay, with the like craziness of the relationships explored just a tad bit, let's go ahead dive into what these cats are doing throughout the camp, and that might give us an insight into what everyone's thinking and feeling. So Frosta saw some kitty pads playing with colorful moss balls. Snail Dusk saw a kitty pad with no fur at all. Bloom Freckle is soaking in the new leaf warmth. Oh, that's right, because it's a new leaf. Yes, hold on a second. It is new leaves, so no longer do we have snow and ice and the terrible cold. So that's nice to see. So Bloom Freckle is definitely feeling really good. Childstripe wonders what Duckpaw is up to. Okay, and even though she's sick, she is the mediator. And Duckpaw has been very, very nervous over her first 2 patrols, and both times have kind of resulted in Blue Stripe having to go out on patrol on his own. He's come across danger both times, but thankfully he's been managed to kind of caution his way out of it. And even though that has been the case, his mate, Bloom Freckle, has been very, very concerned about him. And since Childstripe's been spending a lot of time with Bloom Freckle, I think she'd probably be curious about maybe how Duckpaw is feeling today. and maybe she'll feel confident enough to, not kind of stick so close to her family today. So we'll see how that goes. Iris Quiver wants to train. Of course he does. He's a little bit of an adventurous warrior through and through. He doesn't like being nest bound, but, or medicine cat den bound, but he is. So he's just gonna have to wait it out. And yeah, he's had water in his lungs for 1 moon. Hopefully he gets over that real quick. But it's okay, Iris Quiver, it's okay. Cicada Lotus got caught in a sudden downpour and is not happy about it. Yikes. Okay, so yeah, he's not happy about the water that he's been exposed to over here. Maybe he can go hang out with Iris Quiver. Although, if he is coming down with the sickness, he might not actually want to get Iris Quiver any more sick. Yeah, we'll have to see. Blue Stripe wonders if it's too late to become a mediator. That's right, Blue Stripe actually had a period when he was thinking if he should take the burden off of Bloomfreckle by being a mediator, but, Bloomfreckle, she had a bit of a career change, and she became a medicine cat instead, and now Charred Stripe is a mediator, but the mediator has been down lately. So Blue Stripe is probably thinking, like, maybe, and the other thing might be that him being a warrior and trying to cater to Duckpaw's nervousness and shyness, he is like constantly sending her on patrols with her family, and then he's going out on his own, but Bloomfreckle is getting really worried, and we know that Blue Stripe likes to do a lot of things to make his mate feel reassured. So I wonder if he's thinking, if he became a mediator, then he wouldn't have to go out on patrols, and then Bloomfreckle wouldn't be as worried about him. I think maybe that's what he's thinking about over here. Smoke Thunder thought she saw a cat, but turns out it's a 2-leg object that just looks like one. Okay, Locust Paw winked cheekily at another apprentice. I mean, the only other apprentice we have is your sister. So he winked cheekily at his sister. About what, I wonder? They must have some secret language going on, and they must have seen one of the other cats or noticed another cat and then winked cheekily to do with that. But that's kind of cute. Duckpaw is thinking about a strange 2-leg object she saw recently. Okay, so Duckpaw and... Wait, who? I mean, Smoke Thunder... I think those are the only ones who saw... Yeah, so Smoke Thunder and Duckpaw must be hanging out together. I think Smokepaw and Duckpaw... What am I saying? Smoke Thunder and Duckpaw, are hanging out together. Okay, that's kind of nice. You know what? I think Locust Paw is probably winking cheekily at his sister because he's probably teasing her like, oh, are we going out with mom and dad again today? Because he's kind of aware that the patrols are being arranged the way they are because his sister is way too nervous about being an apprentice, and I'm pretty sure on the moon they became apprentices. He was teasing his sister about being way too young to become an apprentice and how she needed to be a little bit older. And I feel like the way his sister's been behaving is kind of proving his point that you're not ready to be an apprentice yet because you're too scared of being an apprentice. So that's kind of intriguing. And Daisy Wish isn't afraid to berate rule breakers. Okay, who were the 2 cats breaking rules? Let's have a look. So we have Sandy Kit and Dawn Valley. Sandy Kit and Dawn Valley. So she's telling off, or she's lecturing, I suppose, her grandson, Sandy Kit, and Dawn Valley. Interesting. She was a little bit snappy at her grandson, I think, in the events in the last episode. So hopefully they kind of work out their little disagreement. Or, she feels a bit more in a better mood because I don't want her relationship with her grandson to be strained. Dawn Valley is feeling sassy today. That makes sense. If he was told off by Daisy Wish, the other elder in the Elder Den, he's probably going to be feeling pretty sassy. And I feel like he'd go out of his way maybe to hang out with Sandy Kit so they can both sass Daisy Wish together and not listen to what she's saying. Yep, and Sandy Kit is playing pretend. Oh, that's adorable. I think Sandy Kit and Dawn Valley are pretending that they cannot hear what Daisy Witch is going on about. That's adorable. Okay, Skill Kid is whimpering in her sleep. I wonder why that is. You know what? Maybe... I think Scale Kit is maybe, like having a nightmare about her first patrol as apprentice, which is going to be in the next episode, but, you know, she is turning into an apprentice, she and her brother in this episode. So I wonder if she's kind of freaking herself out over the patrols. Maybe that's why she's whimpering in her sleep. Oh. Okay, let us go ahead and take a look at how the patrols are going to go. First up, we are sending out Bloomfreckle. Yep, okay. Bloomfreckle uses the blustery new leaf morning to try and catch the scent of wild garlic on the breeze. The sharp tang of garlic leads Bloomfreckle to a growing patch to bring home. So she's had a nice, peaceful patrol, and now, of course, we're going to see the arrangement between the cats, because the past two patrols, Blue Stripe has been going out on his own, and both times he's kind of narrowly escaped trouble. Bloomfreckle was not happy about this, and she actually spoke to Duckpaw about it. So I think this next arrangement of patrols is going to tell us whether, you know, her conversation kind of worked or not. Like, is Blue Stripe feeling that Duckpaw is still too nervous, or is he feeling kind of decent about this? And actually, was she looking at a two-leg object? Yeah, she was hanging out with, who was she hanging out with? Who was she hanging out with? Smoke Thunder. Right, she was hanging out with Smoke Thunder, looking at a two-leg object. So, I don't know, she might be feeling a little bit better today. Let's go ahead and take a look, guys. Okay! So this time round, Blue Stripe has decided that he's actually gonna go on patrol, gonna split up the family a little bit. He's gonna go on patrol with Duckpaw, right? And I think Snail Dusk, she's kind of, you know, agreed with that, and she's like, yes, I think it's finally time for you to go on a patrol with your apprentice. And she's probably told Locust Paw to stick back, and that means he's going to be patrolling on his own. But I think Snail Dusk has given him strict instructions to patrol directly outside the camp. Like, that's all you are to do. You are not to go anywhere, not down the beach, not on an adventure. You're going to stick directly outside the camp. So I think that's the agreement they've kind of reached over here. So we'll have to see if Locust Paw on his patrol actually listens to her, or he goes and finds trouble. But okay, we'll see how the dynamic between maybe Blue Stripe and Duckpaw is going to work out this time around. As Frostar heads out with a group of clanmates, she puts a paw wrong, slipping onto her side. Her breath whooshes from her lungs as she's hit with flashes of paws heavy with blood. Oh my goodness, is this another, like, clairvoyance kind of situation? Frosta struggles to get to her feet, unsteady and disoriented, only to find Duckpaw there, slipping beside her to support her weight. No one in Feather Clan is alone, and the patrol stops in their tracks to make sure Frosta is okay. Clairvoyance is a powerful, unstable gift. Guys, Duckpaw is stepping up more and more. I think we noticed in the events that Duckpaw was standing up for Frosta against a different clan on a border patrol. So Duckpaw has been, I think since, you know, the last patrol, since the last moon, she's been getting a bit more, a bit more braver. So I kind of like that. And I think this was maybe a good chance for Blue Stripe to kind of observe her and hang back a little bit. And Duckpaw really stepped up. So that's actually quite nice. And then, of course, we have the terrifying patrol with Locust Paw, who Snail Dusk has given strict instructions to stay around camp. Just around camp, like guard the camp and nothing else. So let's see if he actually listens. The patrol glimpses the shadow of a fish as they pad past a stream. So he is bold as well. So I think he's gotten a little bit too curious somewhere. We'll have to see how this goes. Locust Paw very carefully walks to the water's edge and waits for his chance. When the fish is near, he hooks it out of the water with his claws. More fresh kill. Okay, so he was just a little bit adventurous, but it definitely paid off for him. And I think this is going to give Locust Paw like so much confidence. Like, he's the first ever apprentice that has been allowed to patrol or, guard alone. So I think he would actually feel really, really good about himself. And okay, that was actually a really, really good. That was good on both kind of counts. It was really good for Duckpaw and it was really good for Locust Paw in different ways. So I'm actually really happy with the way that panned out. And let's go ahead, set up for the events. So Fern Clan was not present last time when we tried to befriend them, but we are going to praise Otter Clan and maintain our relationship with these guys. I'm going to cut the recording here, guys, and we'll be right back. It is time for us to skip a moon and see what happens. I have quite a few things that I'm going to be keeping my eyes on. We firstly have the apprentices, the new apprentices that we are going to get. They're going to have their ceremonies. And then I also need to see if anything happens between Charred Stripe, one, if she gets better because she's been sick for a while, but also what happens between Charred Stripe and Smoke Thunder, given that, well, it turns out she hates him. This is the first cat in the clan who's hated anyone. So, yeah, let's see how that goes, guys. Okay, at the gathering, Otter Clan's leader proudly announces they have welcomed new kids. Frostar congratulates them first and wishes for the health and happiness of both the parents and the litter, so our relations with our allies have improved. Okay, good. Charred Stripe has recovered from white cough, so she's no longer sick. Oh no, Blue Stripe has gotten a stomachache, so that's not good. Probably from all the nervousness. Rumors reach your clan that the exiled Gardenia has died recently. We briefly knew Gardenia, but we never really got to go too much into his personality or anything like that, so that's unfortunate. Okay, Sandy Paw purrs so hard that he's shaking as he touches nose with Smoke Thunder. Oh, that's nice. So our shy, well, he wasn't shy, he was charming. Our charming little kitten, Sandy Paw, has become the apprentice of Smoke Thunder. So again, I think we were so caught up on Duckpaw and Locust Paw, we didn't pay too much attention to the fact that Frostar would have been paying attention to the other cats in patrol to see if there's any suitable mentors for the new apprentices. So I guess Frostar feels as though her son, even though he was very, very young, he only recently became a warrior. Oh, sorry. Right. Her daughter, Smoke Thunder, she only recently became a warrior, right? Frostar feels as though Smoke Thunder can still kind of, this will be a good experience for her. So I think that's kind of cool. We'll see how that works out. And I wonder how Sandy Paw is going to develop as well. Having such a young mentor, you cannot have a mentor that's any younger, right? So this might be a good experience for Smoke Thunder and for Sandy Paw. So I'm kind of excited to see how maybe Smoke Thunder's mentoring technique, especially with patrols, is going to differ from some of the older, more experienced cats. And then we have Scalepaw has reached the age of 6 moons and has been made an apprentice. Who is your mentor? Tell me, kitty cat. Well, first up, let's take a look at Sandy Paw because I'm really curious to see. Oh look, Sandy Paw, how adorable. How adorable. And yes, he's charismatic. That kind of makes sense. He was really charming as a kitten, and the fact that he's charismatic now might actually work really well with Smoke Thunder. I feel like Smoke Thunder kind of has that sort of thing going on as well with her. So we'll see how this goes, but I feel like they might have a good relationship. I feel like, I don't know actually who Sandy Paw has interacted more with. I feel like he's stuck really close to his grandparents, but even though he's been charming, he hasn't been as involved with the other cats. I think it's mainly his sister who's always been, interacting and fighting with and grappling with the other kittens and cats. But Sandy Paw, I feel like, has been, when he's not interacting with his sister, I feel like he hangs back a little bit. So this might be good, because Smoke Thunder, I feel like, is someone who's kind of been the center of attention, especially because she's, you know, the daughter of the clan leader. So I feel like this might be good for Sandy Paw. This might be good. Okay, and then Scale Paw. Who is your mentor? And what do you look like? Because she looked like a little leopard when she was young. Oh, look at that. And her mentor is Frostar. Oh, that is so cool. She's bloodthirsty. Guys, she's bloodthirsty. This little one, but we kind of knew she was really feisty. Sorry. She was really feisty when she was young. So that is really cool. She, yeah, has like a bit of a leopard jaguar. What's the other cat called? Like an ocelot? I don't know if I'm thinking of the right thing. But you know, a wildcat, like, she looks like a wildcat. So okay, that's kind of exciting. So there we go, that's what we have going on for that. And Scale Paw would actually be very, very, I think, proud of herself. Because the leader, there we go, I'm emphasizing the wrong word. The leader has taken her as her own apprentice. So I suppose that means Frostar actually sees a lot of potential in Scale Paw. And I wonder what that potential is going to grow up into. Huh, that's kind of cool. Okay, and now we're going to be diving into the relationships to see what's been going on. Obviously, there has been no breakups, but we'll have to see if, you know, Charred Stripe and Smoke Thunder's relationship improves. I don't know if it will, but let's see. Okay, Cicada Lotus can hear the truth in Locust Paw's words when he talks about protecting others. Okay, that's sweet. Yeah, Cicada Lotus, you know, is spending time with his son. He can totally see what his son means about protecting others because he feels the same way. They're very, very similar, father and son. Even in his last patrol, he went out to the stream and because he was on his own, Locust Paw, and he gathered some, you know, extra fish for everyone. So he would be feeling really proud of himself. Bloom Freckle and Sandy Kit, so this is mother and son, learn a lot about each other when they're stuck in a den during a storm. So that was actually a really good time for the two of them to bond with each other. So that's kind of nice. Locust Paw says something vulnerable to Bloom Freckle. Okay, so that's good to see. And they're bonding a little bit over there. Frostar notices one of her friends laughing with Charred Stripe. And she's jealous. Going back to the Locust Paw thing, I'm wondering if Locust Paw is going to Bloom Freckle and maybe admitting that, you know, when he was on patrol by himself, there was a small part of him that was a little bit scared, but, you know, he had to protect his clan. He had to protect his clan like he told his father, Cicada Lotus, and so he kind of gathered all of his boldness and he went out to get some fish. So that's actually sweet. But yes, this Frostar noticing friends laughing with Charred Stripe. Let's take a look at her relationships. Like, which friends is she talking about? And it's friends, so it wouldn't be family members. So let's see who she has the highest relationship with. Non-family members in the clan. Let's see. Okay. Friends who are talking to Charred Stripe. So that would be Cicada Lotus and Iris Quiver. So these two were apparently talking to Charred Stripe, and Frostar got a little bit jealous. Okay. Intriguing. Let's see. Frostar. Oh wait, no, one of her friends. So it would have been Cicada Lotus. Yes, would have been Cicada Lotus. Right. Frostar overhears Locust Paw dispelling a false rumor about a clanmate. Oh, that's nice. Locust Paw was standing up for someone. So who was he standing up for? And it says clanmate, so it can be anyone, family or friends. So he has the highest relationship with Cicada Lotus! His father, obviously. Why am I surprised? So he is dispelling a rumor about his father, which is really, really sweet of him. and Frostar kind of overheard that. And Frostar, beforehand, over here, was kind of jealous of Cicada Lotus laughing with Charred Stripe. And maybe she was feeling a little bit annoyed at him. But then she kind of saw Locust Paw standing up for his father, and she kind of realized, you know what, I'm a little bit annoyed at Cicada Lotus right now, but his son is acting really admirable. Okay. Daisy Wish bestows wisdom onto Iris Quiver. These two, who were ex-mates, the parents of Blue Stripe, who have now, in their later years, become, like, good friends. Locust Paw accidentally gave Daisy Wish a piece of fresh kill she didn't like. Okay, that's unfortunate. I wonder if it's that fish she brought back and maybe she doesn't like fishies. Okay, Snail Dusk worries that one of her friends likes Duck Paw more. Snail Dusk? Why would you feel that way about your daughter? But then again, I can kind of understand how sometimes, you know, when we have friends and we introduce them into a family and it seems like they like our family more than us, it makes us feel a little bit sad and worried because, you know, maybe one of our family members, you know, they're more charming than we are. So I suppose I could kind of understand that a little bit. And which one of her friends is this? So the first non-family member, Clan Cat, that she has a high relationship with. It's one of her friends, so it wouldn't be Daisy Wish. Cicada Lotus? Again? An ex-mate? An ex-mate? And Cicada Lotus is actually Duck Paw's father. So, I mean, it's a little bit complicated, but I can kind of see how maybe Snail Dusk. She's maintained a decent relationship with Cicada Lotus since they broke it off and found their own, you know, respective mates. And mates that they're probably more compatible with, but I can kind of see how Snail Dusk is maybe wondering, maybe not worried per se now, but like reflecting on her personality and her daughter's personality and wondering whether Cicada Lotus likes her daughter, like their daughter's personality to hang out with more than Snail Dusk's. So, could be something like that. She's like inadvertently comparing whether her daughter's personality is like better than hers. Okay. Snail Dusk is discomforted by Scale Kit's muttering. What is this itty bitty? You know what? Scale Kit, I think, was having a nightmare. She was having a nightmare, or she was whimpering in her sleep. So maybe Snail Dusk, like she's like muttering really scary things, and Snail Dusk is getting a little bit uncomfortable by that. Yeah. Okay, Bloom Freckle surprises Iris Quiver with something nice, which is very sweet of her. Iris Quiver compliments Locust Paw on a skill he trained hard on. I think Locust Paw would very, very much appreciate that from his stepfather. Very much. Dawn Valley is grateful for something Snail Dusk did. Okay, wonder what she was doing over here. Maybe she, like she used to do back in the ancient days, picked up his slack on something. Like maybe he made a mess of the Elder Den, and she helped clean it up a little bit so that he wouldn't get told off by Frostar, the leader, and his mate. Okay, Dawn Valley shares a bit of shelter from the rain with Iris Quiver, and these two have been really, really good friends for a long time. So, another, you know, incident for them to kind of hang out and bond with each other. Charred Stripe had a spat with a Duck Paw over a piece of prey on the fresh kill pile. Okay, so she's butting heads with Duck Paw a little bit over here. Charred Stripe is complaining that Sandy Kit never does anything helpful. Well, Charred Stripe, maybe she's saying, you know, Sandy Kit, I think maybe she's comparing Sandy Kit, like he's really charming, but maybe she's comparing Sandy Kit with Locust Paw when he was a kid, because Locust Paw, even as a kid, I think, used to try and hang out with Charred Stripe in the Medicine Cat Den and like help her out, and he was just so much more present compared to Sandy Kit, who kind of hides from everyone and just waits for the warriors to come back with gifts for him. But he doesn't actually go and like try and help around the camp. So Charred Stripe, I think, is probably like comparing the two of them. Okay, Blue Stripe always makes time to listen to one of Dawn Valley's stories. which is very, very nice of him that he entertains Dawn Valley's stories when like he really doesn't have to. Maybe when he goes over to the Elder's Den to visit his mother and Dawn Valley's there and he doesn't have company because everyone's busy working and he's busy lounging around. So he like tells all these stories and Blue Stripe makes sure to sit down and listen so that Dawn Valley, feels a slight bit of importance. Okay, Smoke Thunder points out a constellation to Blue Stripe. So a little bit of a bonding, it was a neutral effect over there. So let's see. The whole clan notices how close Locust Paw and Sandy Kit are lately. Okay, that's kind of nice. I feel like Locust Paw. Maybe Locust Paw noticing that Sandy Kit, this was before the apprentice ceremony. I think Locust Paw was probably hanging out with Sandy Kit, trying to like tell him everything about how being an apprentice is and, get him kind of like ready and excited for this new experience he's gonna have, and they're gonna be apprentices together and it's gonna be like really fun. And he's probably telling Sandy Kit about how cool the patrols are and that he was assigned to a patrol all on his own, and I can imagine how he would completely like omit the fact that he was told to stay right next to the camp and he didn't do that. He would say, I was assigned a whole patrol all on my own. So yeah, I think he's building up Sandy Kit's excitement over here. And actually, Sandy Kit's charismatic. So yeah, definitely helping with that. Okay, Duckpaw always assumes the worst of Froststar. That's not good. And Froststar is actually the mentor for Scalepaw. And Duckpaw and Scalepaw have resolved a lot of their differences. But maybe there's a small part of them that is still kind of, like automatically prejudiced against each other, and they have to kind of like actively work through that. And maybe Duckpaw is assuming the worst of Froststar, even though she's been standing up for Froststar quite a lot recently. She's been going with her to the gathering. She's also been helping her when Froststar kind of falls down during patrols. She's been there. So maybe Duckpaw feels a little bit sidelined that Froststar took her, I wouldn't say nemesis, but maybe like a rival. She took her rival as an apprentice, a bloodthirsty rival at that, when Duckpaw is the more caring one. So, that's kind of intriguing. Maybe she feels a little bit like jealous of the attention that Froststar as a mentor is now giving Scalepaw. Because she and Froststar, like their leader, were kind of bonding a lot in the patrols recently. So I think maybe that's what's going on. Okay, Sandy Paw thinks very often about Charred Stripe. And this is after the apprentice sort of ceremony. And I think earlier on we kind of saw before the ceremony that Charred Stripe was comparing Sandy Kit to Locust Kit and saying that, he doesn't do much. So now that he is an apprentice, as a paw, he's probably thinking about what Charred Stripe said about him. And he's trying to he's not taking it in an offensive way. He wants to prove Charred Stripe wrong. Like he wants to be just as good and as useful as Locust Paw because they hung out together before he became an apprentice. And he kind of saw how awesome Locust Paw was. And he's thinking, you know what, this apprentice thing doesn't seem so hard. Maybe I'll be able to do something that, proves my worth to Charred Stripe. So that's kind of nice. And then finally, Scalepaw sees a glimmer of determination in Sandy Paw's eyes. I think that is adorable because she's the bloodthirsty one out of the siblings. And she's looking at her brother, and now her brother has this determination to prove Charred Stripe wrong. Or, prove to her, not because he dislikes her, but to prove to her that he is just as cool and just as useful as Locust Paw. So that's kind of cute how the youngsters are developing this really, really cool story between all of them. And I actually really like the amount of interaction we're getting between all of the youngsters. Now, one thing that I haven't seen is any sort of interaction between Charred Stripe and between Smoke Thunder. So I don't know what's gonna happen there, guys, because there is no interaction between Childstripe and Smoke Thunder. Like, zero. They haven't broken up, but no one's being receptive. No one's attempting to talk to each other. They're at a standstill. But we do know that Childstripe hates Smoke Thunder. Like, unless she hates him so much, she just doesn't want to make the effort. She doesn't even want to do anything. And maybe she's hoping that Smoke Thunder, if she doesn't, if she gives him the cold shoulder, maybe he's just gonna give up. Sorry, she's gonna give up. She's gonna give up on her own. Maybe that's what Childstripe is thinking. And in terms of moons, they still have like a few moons before, they become warriors. They've got another 3 moons before they become, warriors. So that's quite a while away. I mean, they just recently became apprentices, so that kind of makes sense. We do have, though, all these other kind of kitty cats now, so that's going to be pretty exciting. And I suppose, guys, we had like a little bit of a rush with, the kids born, but now we don't really have anyone having kids. And Smoke Thunder isn't going to have kids. I did fix her toggles, so she's not going to have any kids. That means, I don't know what's in store for Childstripe's future right now. But this might be a good time for us to kind of relax a little bit, chill from all of the pregnancies and the babies being born, and to kind of just enjoy the cats that we have right now before, we start growing once more. So this might be a good kind of like downtime. And just seeing the apprentices like grow up into warriors and stuff and develop their own personalities, even though I already feel like as kids they've managed to carve out very strong personalities for themselves. But okay guys, with that said and done, I am going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.